Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. Part 3, The Dragon's Wrath. Chapter 1, The Wilderness, 2036. The mountains of the Appalachians were no longer just rock and timber. They were the ribcage of a beast that had swallowed Jace Vance and Amara Kinte whole. 6 months had passed since they broadcast the loud cry message to the world. The response from the system had been swift and apocalyptic. Jace sat near the entrance of a limestone cavern, the damp air smelling of wet slate and ozone. He sharpened his machete, the scrape of metal on stone echoing in the silence. Above them, on the surface of the plain, the world was burning. The Vatican-led Unity Zone had declared anyone caught possessing subversive analog materials, Bibles, history books, non-digital currency, to be a terrorist of the common good. The frequency is hopping again, Amara said, her face illuminated by the pale blue light of a scavenged tablet. She sat further back in the cave, wrapped in a thermal blanket. They're using quantum triangulation. They know someone is broadcasting from this sector. Let them look, Jace grunted, testing the blade's edge. The density of this rock masks the signal unless they're right on top of us. What's the chatter? Panic, Amara replied, her eyes scanning lines of encrypted text. The system is furious. The broadcast didn't just wake people up, it terrified the Shadow Council. They've authorized lethal non-compliance protocols. If you don't accept the Unity ID and the Sunday rest observance, you don't just lose your bank account anymore. You disappear. Jace looked at the timeline chart they had taped to the cave wall. It was the same one from the library, now tattered and stained with cave mud. His finger traced the line past 2035, past the loud cry, hovering over the section marked Mark of the Beast and Persecution. We knew this was coming, Jace said, his voice low. The dragon is wroth with the woman. Revelation 12:17. We're in the short space now, the final squeeze. Amara looked up, her expression hardened by months of living underground. They're calling it the Purification Initiative. Tyrell sent a burst transmission. He says the coalition is seeing peacekeeper death squads working with the Crusaders. They aren't arresting people, Jace. They're hunting them. Chapter 2, The Iron and the Clay. Life underground was a discipline of silence and study. By day, they ventured deep into the mine shafts, navigating the dark veins of the earth where the peacekeeper drones couldn't fly. By night, they huddled around the kerosene lamp, studying the ancient texts. It's clockwork, Jace said one evening, pointing to Daniel 11 on the chart. The King of the North, the papacy, rushes like a whirlwind. They have the power, the economy, the miracles, but they don't have the truth. God's timeline is the only thing that hasn't been hacked, Amara added. She turned the pages of the Bible they had saved from the fire. We thought the resistance was about guns and ammo, but look at this. She pointed to Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. That's the weapon, Jace said. Obedience. That's why they hate the Sabbath. It's the one commandment that acknowledges God's authority over time and creation. If they can force the world to break it, they validate their own authority. Their study was interrupted by the sound of shuffling boots near the tunnel entrance. Jace killed the light instantly. He drew his sidearm, the movement silent and fluid. Friend or foe? A voice echoed from the dark, rough and tired. That depends on who you pray to, Jace called back, thumbing the safety off. A figure stepped into the gray light of the entrance. It was a man in a torn coat, holding his hands up. Behind him were 3 others, a woman carrying a child and an older man limping. "We heard the broadcast," the man said, his voice breaking. "We saw the files about the sterilization. We refused the Sunday stamp. They burned our house. We heard there were others in the mountains." Jace lowered the gun but didn't holster it. "Welcome to the wilderness," he said. "Come inside. The soup is thin, but it's clean." Chapter 3. The Ambush. Over the next few weeks, their numbers swelled. The wilderness was becoming a network. Jace and Amara linked up with other cells, ex-military, farmers, tech defectors, who had fled the cities. They established a perimeter and supply caches, hiding food and medicine in waterproof drums buried in the forest floor. But the silence couldn't last. Jace was on a supply run with a small team: Amara, a heavy-set mechanic named Bo, and a quiet sniper named Sarah. They were retrieving a cache near an old logging road when the air cracked with the sound of high-velocity rounds. "Contact front!" Jace roared, shoving Amara behind a fallen oak tree. Bullets chewed up the bark, sending splinters flying. From the ridge above, figures in mismatched tactical gear emerged. They weren't the white-clad peacekeepers. They were crusaders, the scavenger remnants of Sterling's army, now serving as mercenaries for the beast. "Suppressing fire!" Jace yelled, popping up to fire 3 controlled bursts. The lead crusader dropped, tumbling down the scree. "They have the high ground!" Sarah shouted, working the bolt of her rifle. "I count 10, maybe 12. "They're flushing us toward the road," Jace realized. "They want to pin us for the drones." The firefight was brutal and close. The crusaders moved with the desperation of starving dogs. One of them, a massive man wielding a sledgehammer, charged Bo. Jace spun, putting 2 rounds into the man's leg, dropping him before he could swing. "Amara, flank left!" Jace ordered. Amara moved low and fast, using the density of the undergrowth for cover. She tossed a smoke canister, blinding the crusaders on the ridge. In the confusion, Jace and Sarah advanced, their gunfire precise. "Hold fire! Hold fire!" a voice screamed from the smoke. A woman stumbled out, her hands raised. She was dressed in crusader fatigues, bleeding from a graze on her arm. "I surrender! Don't shoot!" Jace kept his aim leveled at her chest. "Drop the weapon!" She unbuckled her belt and let her pistol fall into the mud. "My name is Elena. Please, I hate them. I just wanted food. I want out." Jace stared at her. Her eyes were wide, fearful. But Jace had been in the private security game a long time. He looked for the tell, the twitch, the glance. He saw nothing but fear. "Check her," Jace commanded. Amara patted her down, finding a radio and a knife. "She's clean, Jace. Just the comms." "Tie her up," Jace said, lowering his rifle. "We take her with us, but if she sneezes without permission, put her down." Chapter 4. The Trojan Horse. Back in the caves, the atmosphere was tense. Elena sat in the corner, her hands bound, watching them. She answered their questions, giving them intel on crusader movements and peacekeeper checkpoints. She seemed genuine, weeping when they gave her bread. "She's a traitor," Bo muttered, sharpening his knife. "Once a crusader, always a crusader. We should toss her back out." "She's a human being," Amara argued. "People can change, Bo. We did." "We weren't hunting families for sport," Bo spat. Jace watched Elena from the shadows. He wanted to believe Amara. They needed every soul they could get. But his gut twisted with a warning he couldn't silence. 3 nights later, the warning proved true. Jace woke to the sound of a scuffle. He sprinted to the holding area to find Elena gone, and the guard, a young kid named Tony, unconscious on the floor. "Alert!" Jace screamed, hitting the camp alarm. "She's loose!" They found her at the cave entrance. She wasn't running. She was standing there, holding a high-powered IR beacon aimed at the sky. "Elena!" Jace yelled, raising his gun. She turned, a cold smile on her face. "You read your Bible, Jace, but you forgot the part where the brother betrays the brother to death." A blinding white light washed over the mountainside. The hum of anti-density engines vibrated in their chests. "Dropships!" Sarah screamed. "Peacekeepers!" Chapter 5. The Capture. It wasn't a fight. It was a harvest. The Vatican peacekeepers didn't just use bullets. They used sonic suppression weaponry. A wave of nausea hit Jace, dropping him to his knees. His vision blurred, the world spinning as if the plane itself had tilted. "Secure the assets. Priority on Vance and Kinte. Execute the rest." "No!" Jace groaned, trying to lift his arm, but his muscles had turned to water. He watched through the haze as peacekeepers in gleaming white armor, adorned with the cross and crown, swarmed the camp. He saw Bo take a stand, swinging a shovel, only to be cut down by a pulse rifle. He saw them grab Amara, dragging her by her hair. "Jace!" she screamed, her voice cutting through the ringing in his ears. Then a boot slammed into his face, and darkness took him. Chapter 6. The Belly of the Beast. Jace woke up in a cell that was too clean. The walls were smooth white polymer, glowing with a soft, shadowless light. There were no bars, just a force field shimmering at the door. He sat up, checking his body. He was bruised, but whole. He was in a detention center. "Amara?" He croaked. "Cell 412, a voice whispered from the vent near the floor. It was Amara. "I'm here, Jace. I can hear you." "Where are we?" "FEMA Camp Region 4, outside DC," she replied. "It's a re-education center. They're processing us for the Sunday tribunals." "Jace, Elena is here. She's walking the halls freely. She's an officer." Jace closed his eyes, rage boiling in his gut. "We get out, tonight." "How? This place is a fortress." "Every fortress has a drain," Jace said. He crawled to the door, looking out. A guard walked by, not a peacekeeper, but a regular MP, looking bored. Jace waited. When the guard passed again, he tapped on the force field. "Hey, you know who I am?" The guard stopped. "You're the terrorist from the video, Vance." "Yeah," Jace said. "And you're the guy standing on the wrong side of the timeline. You saw the broadcast. You know about the sterilization. You got kids?" The guard stiffened. He looked around nervously. "Shut up. Check your kids' medical records," Jace pressed, his voice intense. "Look for the pale horse marker. If it's there, they're already dead. You're working for the people who killed your family." The guard stared at Jace, his face pale. He didn't say a word, but he walked away quickly. Hours later, the force field flickered and died. A small object slid across the floor. A datapad. On the screen was a message. "My daughter is sterile. Make them pay." Jace grabbed the pad. It had access codes. He hacked the comms array in seconds, sending a single burst transmission on a frequency he knew Tyrell monitored. "Vance, Kinte, captured. Sector 4 camp. Execution imminent. Need hammer." Chapter 7. The Rescue. Tyrell didn't bring a hammer. He brought the whole toolbox. The attack came at dawn. Explosions rocked the perimeter of the detention center as the coalition launched a coordinated strike. It wasn't a precision operation. It was a chaotic, desperate assault designed to break the line. Jace kicked the door of his cell open as the power failed. He sprinted down the hall, grabbing a stun baton from a fallen guard. He found Amara's cell and smashed the control panel, shattering the lock. "Move!" Jace yelled. They ran through the chaos. Smoke filled the corridors. Peacekeepers were firing wildly at the breaching walls. Through the smoke, Jace saw Tyrell, looking massive in riot gear, firing a heavy machine gun. "Tyrell!" Jace roared. "Vance, get to the truck!" Tyrell bellowed, covering them. They were almost to the breach when Elena stepped out from a side corridor. She held a submachine gun, flanked by 2 elite peacekeeper guards. "End of the line, Jace," she smirked. But before she could fire, a member of Jace's wilderness group, the quiet sniper Sarah, who had been captured with them, lunged from the shadows. She didn't have a weapon. She tackled Elena, driving both of them into the open line of fire. "Sarah, no!" Amara screamed. The peacekeepers opened fire. Sarah's body jerked as the rounds tore through her, but her momentum carried Elena to the ground. The distraction was enough. Jace raised the stolen baton and threw it with all his strength. It struck one peacekeeper in the throat. Tyrell's machine gun finished the other. Jace sprinted forward, grabbing Elena by her vest and hauling her up as a human shield. He dragged her toward the breach. "Sarah," Amara sobbed, looking at the body of their friend. "She bought us time," Jace said, his voice grim. "Don't waste it." They piled into the Coalition's armored transport, bullets pinging off the hull. As the truck roared away, leaving the burning camp behind, Jace looked down at Elena, bound and gagged on the floor. "Now," Jace whispered, "we talk." Chapter 8. The Traitor's Fate. The Coalition hideout was a decommissioned subway station deep beneath Baltimore. The air was thick with the smell of diesel and sweat. The group stood in a circle around Elena, who was tied to a chair. Tyrell was pacing, his knuckles white. "She killed Sarah," Tyrell growled. "She set you up. We put a bullet in her head and dump her in the tunnel. It's justice." "It's vengeance," Amara said softly. "The Bible says vengeance belongs to God." "God isn't holding the gun," a resistance fighter shouted. "She's a spy. If we let her live, she signals them again." Jay stepped forward. The room went silent. He looked at Elena. She wasn't smiling anymore. She was terrified. "You want to kill her?" Jace asked the room. "That's what the beast does. That's what Rome does. We are not them." "So we let her go?" Tyrell asked incredulously. "No," Jace said. A cold, calculating look entered his eyes. "We use her." He leaned down, eye to eye with Elena. "You have high-level clearance. You have a biometric pass for the supply depots." Elena nodded slowly. "We need food," Jace said. "We need medical supplies for the sterile children, and we need the schematics for the guillotine centers they're building." "They'll kill me if I go back," Elena whispered. "They think you were captured," Jace said. "You're going to walk into the Sector 7 depot. You're going to override the security protocols. You're going to let us in. And if you blink wrong, I won't kill you. I'll broadcast your interrogation confession to the Vatican. I'll let them know you sold them out. We know what the Jesuits do to loose ends." Elena shuddered. She knew. "I'll do it," she whispered. Chapter 9. The Plan. Jace laid out the map of the Sector 7 depot. It was a suicide mission, but they had no choice. Winter was coming, and without supplies, the resistance would starve. "We go in quiet," Jace instructed. "Elena gets us through the outer gate. Amara, you loop the camera feeds. Tyrell, your team secures the loading dock. We take what we need and we vanish." "And the girl?" Tyrell asked. "She comes with us," Jace said. "She's our key and our prisoner until the end." Amara looked at the timeline on the wall. They were deep in the darkness now. "Jace," she said quietly, "the news feeds, they're talking about a new decree." Jace looked at the screen. The Pope was speaking from a balcony, his arms spread wide. "To restore the sanctity of life," the pontiff intoned, "and to purify the earth of those who destroy it, we must remove the cancer of dissent. The time of mercy is ending. The time of judgment is here." The image shifted to show rows of gleaming metallic devices being unloaded from trains. They weren't guns. They were modern automated guillotines. Revelation 24 flashed in Jace's mind. "And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast." "They're ramping up," Jace said, gripping his rifle. "They're preparing for the final harvest." He turned to the group. His face was set like flint. "Let them bring their machines," Jace said. "Let them bring their laws. We know how the story ends. The stone is coming. We just have to hold the line until it hits." He cocked the weapon. "Let's go to work." To be continued.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.